Today I just wanted to come on and show you guys a little bit of a mass production type of card. This is going to be utilizing the Waffle Flower Hello. This is a really big hello, and then I'm going to be using the Brutus Monroe Jawbreaker 6x6 paper pad. These are some absolutely beautiful colors. Like, I just wanted to use them and make them the focal point of something because these papers are just so vibrant and so beautiful, and I love the color selections of these. So I decided to use these as well as some of the sequins and jewels that I have. You know, it's just a way to be able to use up some of those things. You know, I'm going to do a shaker because that's just my thing. I had the Cricut cut out Thinking of You for 12 times, and I also had it cut out this frame for me to kind of frame up the image. So I have already done some of the prep work, and I'm bringing in some of the jewels that I have decided to use. As you can see, that one container is really full, and I just wanted to be able to use some of those up. So I've gone ahead and I have die cut these hellos. And this was a part of a virtual crop that I co-hosted with Courtney Kreeber, and we did this in the Handmade Happiness group. And so we did a mass production challenge. And so I don't necessarily like using ephemera and things of that sort. So when I think about making a mass production card, I'm looking at something that I could maybe do in about 2 hours. And I was able to get a dozen of these done in 2 hours, start to finish. So I wanted to kind of share it with you guys. So I'm just taking all the scraps of paper that I had. I cut out as many hellos as I could, and I am just sitting here stacking them together. And what I did was I stacked about 3 of the cardstock hellos together, and then I placed one of the glitter hellos on top of each of them. And so I'm just going to go through and do some of these. I will not make you watch me do all of these, but just to kind of give you an idea of what I was doing here with this, and to kind of give you an idea of how big this hello is. I absolutely loved these. So now I'm going in and putting the glitter cardstock on the top to create kind of a thicker embellishment. You know, I like for them to feel like chipboard pieces on my card, so that's what I was going for here. And these are some cards that I decided to make for essential workers in my community. I live on a military base, and at our grocery store, which we call the commissary, we have individuals who do our bagging and bring our groceries out, and they only work for tips. And I really do appreciate the fact that they are still there and still working during all of this time. So I wanted to create some cards and put some little $5 coffee gift cards in there so that they could get a cup of coffee and know that someone is looking and someone sees and someone is appreciating what they have done. So I'm going in and doing this very last hello, and I did keep in my entire process of doing this. It's not a huge process, but I wanted you guys to see the first time when I did this and the not way to do this, and then the second time when I did it, the better way of doing the shaker card portion of this. And you know, some things are trial and error, and I want you guys to know that it's okay to go through that trial and error. We always do. So with this first one, I am taking liquid glue, problem number 1, and I'm going to liquid glue this the cutout part that shows the look of the wood to the filled in piece. What I found later was that I probably should have cut out an extra base piece to wedge the acetate between. So you're going to see here that I'm going to put this together, I'm going to glue it together, I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to end up pulling this apart and putting the acetate between it later, and I just didn't like the way it looked. It was kind of messy, and so I ended up changing it when I did the second one. So now here are all these jewels. I got these at some point when I began crafting from Walmart, I think, or maybe Hobby Lobby or Joann, something to that effect. And there are a lot of them. So I wanted to be able to use some of those up. So now I brought out my acetate. My acetate is the size of the card front. And I have brought out my Scotty 3M foam tape. Now I'm going to do a double layer of the foam tape on the back of the cardstock. And I guess I didn't show, but on this one I glued the acetate in between the two pieces. And like I said, I just didn't like the way that this one came out as well as how I do the next set. So I'm going to bring in some of the the jewels that I have, and I'm just matching up the colors in the background of the paper with the colors that are on the cardstock. And so here you can see I'm kind of not really lining up, but deciding where I want to put this frame, because the frame is not the same size as the card base. And so once I get that down and kind of get that shaking around, then I just pop one of those hellos over the top, and it makes a very quick, very nice shaker. That has, to me, some fun elements to it. It's not just made out of ephemera. Like, to me, that just doesn't kind of scream handmade. I don't know. But, and then I'm going to put some glue on this, and I'm going to set something heavy on top of it to get the glue to adhere to the acetate, which takes a while, you guys. So for the second one, I am bringing in 2 of those base pieces, and I'm going to bring in the acetate and the frame. Now the acetate and the frame are the same size, but I cut down the acetate to well, the acetate and the card base are the same size, and then I cut it down to be the size of the frame. This time I'm smart, and I'm going to bring in my 1/4-inch score tape, and I'm going to put my score tape around there first. So once I get the score tape, and I'm trying to ensure that my score tape is lining up very well to all of the edges, just because when you're doing a shaker, you want everything to be sealed very well. And I guess this doesn't matter so very much between the acetate layer, but for me, I just like to do it all the same way. So I've got that put down. Now I'm going to take my score tape again, and I'm going to put another piece of score tape over that, and then I am going to put that other base piece on top of that, and that's going to sandwich in my acetate this time. So once I get that done, this time I'm going to just peel up the score tape just a little bit and fold it back. This helps me to line up my bases so that they are even without putting it down on the score tape and then it kind of being placed there and maybe be a little wonky. So this is my little tip for how to line up things when you're using your score tape, and it works out really well for me each time. So now that I have those two wedged together, I am going to take my little cutter scissors. These are my Tim Holtz scissors, and I'm going to cut around the acetate to make it the size of the frame. So now that is the way that I want it to look, and then I will later add the wood grain piece on the top of that. So I'm just kind of deciding whether I want it to be wonky or whether I want it to be straight. I chose that I wanted it to be straight. I'm going to go again, and this time I'm going to double up my foam tape before I put it on the frame. I'm going to cut this down the middle, and I am going to try to make it go as far around that frame as I can, because it just helps to ensure that there aren't any gaps. So now that I have placed all the foam tape on there and I have a double layer, I am just trimming it down so that I can make sure that it is like butted up right to the edges. I'm going to bring out some sequins, and I'm going to bring out some shaker bits, and I'm going to put that together. And then once I get that placed how I want it to be, then I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to put my hello and my thinking of you on there again. Now, as I'm going through this process, and I won't show you guys all of these, but the bigger jewels, I start turning them over because I noticed they didn't have so much room to shake. But I think that all in all, this came out to be a really, really cute and simple hello, thinking of you, kind of thank you for being there type of card. And I was able to produce a dozen in 2 hours. So I wanted to kind of give you guys this little idea of something that you may be able to do. So this is kind of what it looks like before it goes on the card base. I love shakers. You guys know how I am about the shakers, and this paper has all the shimmer in it. So this is kind of what we came up with. Just wanted to show you guys what they look like once they were done. I put them on some pretty pink card bases, and I'll write a nice little note on the inside. I didn't decorate the inside of these cards, but that was what I had for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little video, and I will see you guys again soon in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.